Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into the world of the AI product manager. It's a role that's transforming right before our very eyes, moving way beyond just designing systems and into this profound responsibility for making sure they're ethical and safe. So, let's get right into it. Yeah, we're definitely taking that to heart. Look, this isn't going to be some dry history lesson. This is a practical guide. We're going to focus on the strategies, the frameworks, and the skills you actually need to build and manage these incredible products today. All right, to really get this new class of PM, we have to start with their first role, the architect. And this is so much more than just managing a backlog of features. It's really about designing the entire blueprint of an intelligent system right from scratch. And this analogy, it absolutely nails the core difference. Think about it. A traditional PM is like a chef. They've got a proven recipe, the process is pretty predictable, and they know what the final dish is going to taste like. But the AI PM, well, they're like a culinary inventor, creating a totally new dish with ingredients that are completely unpredictable. The result is never, ever guaranteed. When you actually compare them side by side like this, you see this huge shift in responsibilities. Your traditional PM, they're living in a world of user stories and feature adoption. But the AI PM has to translate these fuzzy business goals into machine learning problems that can actually be solved. And success isn't just about clicks, it's about model accuracy and, just as importantly, user trust. It changes the whole game. So, when you boil it all down, the AI PM's job is just fundamentally different. They aren't just managing software. They're basically running the farm to make sure the data is clean, designing the kitchen by building out the right ML infrastructure, and then leading the taste tests to make sure the final model actually delivers real-world value. Okay, so we've got the architect's blueprint. But how does that blueprint become a reality? Well, this is where the AI PM transforms into the navigator, steering the product through the, let's be honest, very choppy waters of its development lifecycle. And this right here, this is our roadmap for that journey. It's called the GLOW framework, and it gives us a super clear, structured path to get from a simple idea all the way to a live application that's creating value. Let's break this down into its 3 key stages. Our journey kicks off in the development stage. Think of it as the lab. This is where we get to play, to experiment, to build a proof of concept, and see if our idea is even technically possible, all in a safe, controlled space. It's all about prototyping fast, testing different models, and figuring out what success even looks like. The whole point is to fail fast and cheap, so we can find a path that actually works. Okay, from the lab, we move into pre-production. This is where that fragile little prototype gets transformed into a tough, enterprise-ready application. We bring in beta users, we stress test our data pipelines, and we hunt for all those weird edge cases where the model might just fall apart. The feedback we get isn't just about the buttons, it's about how the model performs with messy, diverse, real-world data. This is what builds the case for a full launch.
And then, the moment of truth, production. But here's the thing, this isn't the finish line. It's the starting line of a whole new race. Production is a continuous cycle. We're not just watching to see if the servers are up, we're actively looking for model drift. That's when the AI's performance slowly gets worse over time. It means we have to be ready to retrain and redeploy the model, creating a product that's truly alive and always evolving.
But navigating all that tech stuff, that's really only half the battle. And that brings us to what might be the AI PM's most critical role of all, the steward, the person who makes sure the product is built with a conscience. This leads to a really crucial question that every single person in this field has to ask themselves. Seriously, if you build a model that's technically brilliant and makes a ton of money, is that enough? And the answer, of course, has to be a hard no. It's just not enough. Building trustworthy AI isn't some optional add-on. It's a core, non-negotiable part of the product manager's job. That responsibility for fairness and safety, it lands squarely on their shoulders. So that's the big idea. But how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? Well, you start by grounding your work in a clear framework. And this diagram shows us the 3 essential pillars for building AI you can actually trust. Think of these pillars as your practical go-to checklist. Are we actively assessing our data and models for bias? Have we really thought through how this could fail and built in safeguards? And are we being totally transparent with our users about what this thing does and how it works? This is how you turn those abstract principles into concrete actions. And this right here shows one of the most powerful safeguards you can have, the human-in-the-loop protocol. For really high-stakes decisions, you just can't let the algorithm have the final say on its own. This makes sure there's always a human there to approve, reject, or just escalate critical actions. It's a crucial safety net.
Now, beyond those three core pillars, a truly robust approach includes these other dimensions too. It's about creating a whole ecosystem of trust. Take controllability, for example. That means asking, are we giving users real agency over their data and the AI's outputs, or are they just along for the ride? Governance means setting up clear lines of accountability. Without these, even the best intentions can fall apart.
You know, building all that trust, it's not just about the code. It's also about how you talk about it. And that brings us to the final role in our journey, the AI PM as the communicator. I mean, think about it. You could build the most brilliant, fair, and safe AI in the world, but what good is it if nobody, not your boss, not your marketing team, and definitely not your users, understands what it does, why it matters, or how it works? The final hurdle is bridging that gap between technical complexity and human understanding.
And a really powerful tool for this comes from a place you might not expect: academic research. It's called a video abstract, and it's basically like a movie trailer for a super dense research paper. It takes a complex topic and makes it short, engaging, and understandable for pretty much anyone. This comparison is a perfect mirror for the challenge an AI PM faces every single day. They can't just talk in jargon to their data scientists. They have to switch gears and use plain language to explain the product to executives, to sales, to customers. The goal isn't just a technical overview, it's to get people excited and interested.
So these elements aren't just for making videos, right? They are the absolute heart of how an AI PM can take something incredibly complex and make it crystal clear for everyone. It's about telling a story, using visuals, being concise, and focusing on clarity. This is how you get everyone to see the vision you're building.
So let's wrap up with this final thought. Every single AI product out there is telling a story through its design, its function, and its impact on the world. As an AI product manager, as the architect, the navigator, and the steward, your ultimate job is to make sure that story is a good one. A story of innovation, value, and most of all, trust. So, what story will you help it tell?